For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Monday, the 22nd day of April 2024, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday to you as well. And to remind you that the For the Record birthday shoutouts are brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shoutouts. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. Call them at 949-9570 or 525-9571. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. I'm going to shorten my opening comments this morning because we do have guests in the studio, and we want to present our birthday shout-outs as well. This one I'm going to do first because this young lady is in her parents' vehicle on her way to school. She's 15 years old today. Her name is Renee Bryan, and we want to wish her a happy birthday. Renee Bryan is the daughter of Minister for Tourism and Ports, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan. So, Renee, happy birthday to you, coming from your entire family as well. We also want to wish happy birthday greetings to Miss Lavinia Ebanks for Nee Miller. Her maiden name is Miller. She's a former Miss Northside and Miss Cayman. She's been married to Mr. Mario Ebanks for 35 plus years, resided in the District of West Bay since 1993. So happy birthday greetings going out to her, coming in particular from your husband, Mr. Mario Ebanks. Also birthday greetings going out to Miss Georgina Kerford, Miss Cayman of 2021. She celebrates her 21st birthday on today, the 22nd of April as well. Also coming from Mr. Mario Ebanks. And then we have other birthday greetings here. Also, let me find those for you very quickly. I know Miss Susan did send them to me, so all I have to do is find them. Manzanares, yep. Happy birthday tomorrow. Also going out to Mr. Peter Quinlan from his loving wife, Nicole, and his 3 children, Kiana, Jaden, and Araya. And may God bless and keep you always. I'm trying to find the photos that Miss Susan sent me. So, yes, Mr. Orville Daniels is celebrating his birthday today. Also, Mr. Patrick Schmidt celebrating his birthday today. Any more, Miss Susan? Okay, I found them now. So here we go. Miss Darlene Manzanares celebrating her birthday today. Mr. Orville Daniels also celebrating a birthday. Patrick Schmidt, Dwayne Stevenson, and he's a reggae singer, I'm told. And yesterday, Courtney Mellors celebrated a birthday, as well as Michelle LeMay celebrating a birthday. I think I have captured all of them. If not, then Jennifer Stewart Cox celebrating her birthday tomorrow as well. So those are all the birthday shout-outs coming to you from Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And Superior Auto. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. You can call them at 949-9570 or 525-9571. If I have any more birthday shout-outs, we will share them with you a little later as well. But we do have guests in the studio with us, and I want to share this information with you before I introduce my guests. And the Ministry of Health and Wellness, they will be conducting National Health Strategy Consultation. The launch date is set. There will be a series of updates for the general public, advising you of what will be taking place, and then when the actual consultation starts, then we will get into that. But who better to tell you what is going on than herself, the Honorable Sabrina Turner, Minister with responsibility for health, wellness, and home affairs, and or recently appointed, I should say, Chief Nursing Officer. I've already promoted you. I've already promoted you, or Chief Nursing Officer as well. So, Minister, I'm going to hand the mic over to you. You're no stranger being behind the mic as well. Having been right here at Radio Cayman.
Yes, Mr. Connor, and good morning. And coming off of the heels of birthday shout-outs, let me just take a moment out of this time to publicly acknowledge the DEH staff, all of the DEH staff who celebrated their birthdays for the first quarter of 2024. We had a wonderful time over the weekend, and I was happy to take the opportunity to celebrate with all of those persons celebrating birthdays during the month of January to April. Kudos to them for keeping it real. But yes, thank you for having us on your show this morning to talk about the National Health Strategy Consultation launch that is set to take place from May 1st to the 31st. This will determine Cayman's National Health Strategy and where we're going, and we're going to set the tone for what the standards are here in the Cayman Islands as it pertains to healthcare for the next 10 years, knowing well that the last strategy was done back in 2012 and that was done for 5 years. So we're 7 years behind, and this is something that I know that was picked up by the Auditor General and their reports. And I'm so pleased that my ministry and the policy team are just so actively engaged in bringing this to fruition. We also have the support from the Pan American Health Organization that will also be assisting us with making this document, which will be an overarching guide document for the Cayman Islands that defines this 10-year strategic direction as it pertains to healthcare here for the Cayman Islands. And we'll be engaging, as you rightfully said, by ways of talk shows, town hall meetings, virtual, and just getting all of the sectors and service providers on board with this document. And we're definitely energized, excited. You can imagine how excited I am with everything that we have going on in the Ministry of Health and Wellness to bring this definitely over the finish line. Understanding the evolution of healthcare, the services, and just making sure that we have that national document is what this is. We need to make sure that it's current so that we can hold all of those persons reciprocally accountable if they're engaging in health services here in the Cayman Islands. So it shouldn't be any guessing game as to what our standards are nationally. If you want to engage in business dealings once it's pertaining to healthcare, and likewise, even persons working in the business of healthcare, what is our national measuring stick? What is our national healthcare constitution, as it may? That's pretty much what we're launching here, Mr. Connor.
Okay. Chief Nursing Officer, Ms. Felicia McLean, anything you want to add to that?
I think the exciting part about it is from joining the ministry, we recognize how data-driven this current ministry is in regards to informing decisions. And that is why this consultation period is so key to doing all the things that Minister just mentioned. We want to hear from the people of all ages, all people, all sectors, everywhere, so that at the end of the day, it really is our national policy because it's from the people, what they see currently happening within our healthcare, the changes that need to happen. Our population has grown, and we don't want it to be for a select few or just our opinion. So we really encourage people when this consultation period starts to really let themselves be heard. We've made it a really quick survey when it comes out. It's literally 10 questions, but it's very informative, and we're thankful for PAHO, who's helping us to be able to collect the data and then formulate help us form this plan.
Now, will there be boots on the ground in terms of this survey? Is it going to be something electronically? How will persons be able to participate?
A combination, yes, for sure. We will have an online survey that people will get through all the social media avenues, but we also are going to be having a few like town hall meetings on the ground. There are also
and learn sessions.
Lunch and learns. There are also some stakeholder groupings with the faith-based organizations, the nonprofits out there. So we're really going to do a little bit of everything to try and capture as much as we can, including the sister islands.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, there are those persons out there who would want to know precisely what is a national health strategy. And they will probably also want to know how far in the future this strategy will take us. What are the guarantees that are in place that the strategy will be implemented, and the ongoing life of the strategy, irrespective, of who may be in the political seat. We will still have the public servants who are in that seat as well. So how this prepares us down the future for the Cayman Islands, and it remains in place. Folks, please stay tuned. When we return, the conversation with the Honorable Sabrina Turner, Minister for Health, Wellness, and Home Affairs, and Chief Nursing Officer, Ms. Felicia McLean. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. What we have to say here is extremely important.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series. Brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Clara Eden, Certificate of Honor, 1870 through 1969. Nurse Clara Eden was an extremely loyal and faithful midwife who traveled to all outer districts to deliver babies. She apparently had a record of the babies she delivered, along with the names of their parents in her first house, which burned down. At that time, she confirmed that she had delivered 1,500 babies, and when she retired, she estimated she had delivered 2,000. She took excellent care of both mother and baby for 9 days at the cost of £2. Nurse Clara was a faithful member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. She was the only person in Grand Cayman who knew how to do starbread handwork, and in her spare time, she taught a few people how to do it.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Rotary Cayman Islands Sunset $10,000 raffle happening Saturday, May 25th. Tickets only $10, 3 tickets only $25, 5 tickets for $40 from any Rotary Sunset member. All proceeds will support Rotary Sunset community projects including Feed Our Future, the Sunrise Adult Training Center, Adopt a School Program, the Marie Martin Georgetown Primary School, the Crisis Center, and many more. The new Rotary Sunset Club. NPO number 656. Get your ticket, get your chance. Rotary Sunset, creating hope in the world.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Digicel has teamed up with Capella. We're giving away tickets for you and a friend to attend Cayman's biggest music festival. Win 2 Capella tickets. Simply activate a 30-day Prime Max plan or be an active postpaid customer and you could be our lucky winner. Don't miss out on this epic event. Go to your nearest Digicel store today or the My Digicel app for your chance to win. Digicel. Better connected.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our Custom Closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the Chief Nursing Officer, Ms. Felicia McLean, and Minister Sabrina Turner. We're talking about the National Health Strategy. So in combination with the question I was asked before we went to the commercial break, this person has written in, and we can combine the two, we are so tired of the buzzwords and chats, the surveys, consultations, and contracts. If health professionals were doing their jobs daily, they would capture the data constantly. They get the big bucks and have the big degrees. Don't ask me how to do your jobs. And I want to thank the writer for this, and I'm going to respond in part, not speaking for the minister or for Ms. McLean, but to point out that any survey, the capturing of any data is almost totally reliant on what the public is prepared to provide. With things like data protection legislation, the government is limited to what they can use, the information that they have, how it can be used, or when it can be used as well. So that is one of the reasons why this strategy is necessary. Why don't you believe that when we have issues about cancer and doing surveys, we have to rely on volunteers simply because you can't just go and demand that data as well. But Minister, over to you.
Yes, sir, and thank you so much. Thank you for the contributions of that writer, but we can't do it without the relevant information. And the only way we can do it is to actually, like you rightfully alluded to, feet on the ground. Mm-hmm. Now, for every government, there's a strategic broad outcome. And we know at Public Accounts Committee, this was something that they asked for, and it was recommended for the Ministry of Health to actually implement. And in this strategic document, what was absent from the one that was created in 2012 that was valid through 2017 was an operational plan. Mm-hmm. This one for the next 10 years will include an operational plan. And, when we look at the broad outcomes set out in our strategic plan, there are 4 that would be covered once this is met. And that is enhancing competitiveness while meeting international standards, ensuring an equitable, sustainable, and successful healthcare system. And then we got broad outcome number 3, future-proof to increase resiliency, ensuring equitable, sustainable, and successful healthcare systems. And broad outcome number 4, modernizing government to improve public sector performance. That's ensuring, again, equitable, sustainable, and successful healthcare system. You hear the repetition, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have broad outcome number 5, protect and promote Caymanian culture, heritage, and identity. Here we go again, providing solutions to improve the well-being of our people so that they can achieve their full potential. When you look at the plan from 2017, it covered a lot of those. But as you rightfully say, what sets it in stone for continuity, let's say come 2025, and I am 1, maybe not re-elected, 2, or elected and not the Minister of Health and Wellness. This is all up as a former cabinet secretary and knowing the roles of accountability and the role of the civil service, it is up for the civil servants to bring this out with support from cabinet, and that's any government. But at least we would have a document that has and sets the foundation for where the Cayman Islands is in regards to our standards, what ethics are, to avoid and to promote reputational or the reputation of this jurisdiction once it comes to healthcare and healthcare services in the Cayman Islands. So I encourage persons to participate. This is not just a showing of words. The mere fact that we're picking up and the ministry is actively seeking to bridge that gap, fill that gap that was non-existing from 2017 for where we are. Look at where healthcare, look at our population has gone from 2017 to now 2024. There's a 7-year gap. All we're doing is needing the information from the public. We're willing to engage with even chief officers from the various government ministries. Again, breaking down of silos, more collaboration, because health is broad. We got health from the youth and sports section that we will invite to participate in this. We have, look at even agriculture and food sustainability. That's nutrition. So it just does not stop within the Ministry of Health and Wellness. And we're hoping that with this plan, that persons from the other government agencies within the civil service will actually be around the table for these discussions and just make this something that is definitely meets the needs of the Cayman Islands and no longer using data or examples from regional or international jurisdiction, but we're making it our own.
Yeah, and people need to understand, Ms. McLean, also that when we're talking about the health strategy, it is not limited, not restricted to government's health care that is being provided.
Correct. Exactly.
And we have so many, we have a growing population, and some will question, well, how that is growing. That's a story for another time. But, you know, and we also have health tourism as well, where you have nationals coming from other jurisdictions to have their healthcare issues addressed here in the Cayman Islands as well.
That speaks volumes as well. And it's because of our robust laws and our councils. And again, this is the guiding document for how we even hold those councils accountable.
No, for sure. Like going back to what Minister said in regards to the just general health, and this strategy is going to engage the public health in general. Like we want to see from the public standpoint. And going back to the person that sent in, let's just say, yes, that person is right. When you go to your physician or when you go to your healthcare institution, they will have some input as to how things are working. And maybe at the end of the day, you might push one of those little things that says good, bad, happy face, sad face, whatever. But that doesn't inform us enough. That might say, yes, you had a good experience, or no, you did not. This particular survey is going to help add some teeth to what is it really like for how are your wait times, how accessible it is. If you have a chronic illness, how has accessing healthcare, impacted your health and wellness? And then for the kids, we go maybe for a broken arm. What does that look like? What would I want it to see like? So it's really trying to get some more information to help us to really make a strategy for the next 10 years that will really help guide the civil service in regards to how we set out to manage people's health and wellness.
And that would also include health insurance as well. Because
it's all touched there.
That is the big elephant in the room, as far as health is concerned.
And people accessing healthcare, there's no, it's not fair to those who may be less fortunate that does not have insurance. And we got all of this glowing infrastructure where healthcare is available, that people are flying from other countries to access healthcare, and you have your own for whatever reason that they don't want to go to get help because they feel less. And that is where public health now comes into the greater scheme of things. The development of this plan, we are actually transforming priorities into plans and transforming plans into action. Yes. That can't happen without public participation. That's our everyday citizen or industry stakeholders our various government departments, again, breaking down of silos and sharing of information. And that is why we were so excited that PAHO is getting involved, that's the Pan American Health Organization, to help support the development of this National Health Strategy Plan here for the Cayman Islands.
Okay, we've reached the 8 o'clock, but Minister, we know we were scheduled for half an hour, but half an hour doesn't give us enough time. You haven't even been able to warm the seat that you're sitting in yet. So I'm going to ask you to stay a little bit longer after we come back from our news. Some of the things that we'll reiterate what is a national health strategy. We can talk about why do the Cayman Islands need a national health strategy. We can talk about what will be included in the strategy, who can participate in the public transportation, how long is the consultation, whether or not it matters if someone participates, and we've spoken about that before, and we can then say, how can people participate? We can tell them how they can participate as well. So, folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, we're going to have another 15 minutes with Miss Minister Sabrina Turner and Miss Felicia McLean. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, renew.
More than a mantra, these words are a blueprint for building a sustainable Earth.
A sustainable Cayman.
So, starting April 19th, join Foster's and Priced Right.
With your purchase of $75 or more, you'll be eligible to win a free recycling bin while supplies last to help give our island a breath of renewal.
Putting Earth first isn't just for Earth Month, it's every month.
Learn more on our social channels at Foster's Cayman on Facebook and Instagram.
Or go to fosters.ky.
Foster's, greener because we care.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service is hoping to enhance its response times in the eastern districts after assigning additional offers to the East End Police Station. Additionally, it will serve as the Eastern District's Traffic and Roads Policing Unit new base of operations. Going forward, the RCIPS says its intention is to build towards providing full 24-hour coverage at that station. This also forms part of the business continuity plan for Northside after its station was damaged by a fire back in 2023. Police intend to, quote, replicate these activities at the Northside Police Station once it is repaired and reopened. New York, London, Milan, Camana Bay. This year's Cayman in Style Fashion Week runway took place on Saturday and treated residents to some particularly high fashion. Runway photographer and stalwart of America's Next Top Model, Nigel Barker, emceed the event.
Good evening, everybody. You having a good time? I know it's late, I know it's hot, but you know what? When I came here this particular trip, and every time I come here, I come to be inspired. You know, I've been looking at fashion shows for 30 years all over the world. I've seen the biggest, greatest designers. I've seen the newest, youngest designers. And I'm a fashion photographer. I'm a filmmaker. And I shot the biggest collections in the world as well. And what I look for is to be inspired. When I come to a runway show, you don't always look for things that you're going to necessarily want to buy or wear, but you're looking at things that are going to inspire ideas, fantasy, dream. That is what fashion's really, truly about. And tonight, I just get one reason to love you. I got all kinds of reasons, hundreds of reasons to love you. I mean, you took me on all kinds of dreams.
Saturday night's show featured the latest trends from both Caymanian and international designers, and it came on the heels of the organization's first Free Your Mind Gala, as well as the annual Trailblazer Awards and the graduation for the Creative Fashion School. For more information, you can head to CaymanInStyleFashionWeek.com. And there's about a week left to go before applications close for this year's Ministry of Education's local scholarship program.
Well, it's on our portal, moescholarships.gov.ky. This scholarship particularly applies if persons are interested in attending local institutions. So UCCI, ICCI, Truman Bodden, who am I missing? UE Open Campus.
Manager of the Scholarship Secretariat Unit, Dr. Sherry Smith, tells Radio Cayman this also covers students eligible for A-levels or the IB program, even adults considering building their qualifications.
But, it's also for that person who, has taken that journey along life pathway and now they're finding that, hey, I have a bit more time and flexibility, and I've always wanted to pursue my associate's qualification. I can go after it now.
All the information you need to apply is online at moescholarships.gov.ky. Again, the deadline to apply is April 30th. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News, I'm John Shea. The head of Israel's military intelligence has resigned. Aharon Haliva is the first senior figure to step down over his role in failing to stop the Hamas attacks on October the 7th. 1,200 people were killed, more than 200 were abducted. Palestinian officials in Gaza say more than 200 bodies have been exhumed from a mass grave in the grounds of the Nasser hospital in Khan Yunis. Israeli forces withdrew from the city 2 weeks ago. A court in New York is due to begin hearing opening statements shortly in the unprecedented criminal trial of Donald Trump. The former US president denies charges that he falsified accounts to hide hush money paid to a porn actress. German police have arrested 3 people on suspicion of spying for China. They're all German nationals. 2 of them are a married couple. Opposition parties in India have accused the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, of making Islamophobic remarks at an election rally. Mr. Modi alleged that the opposition Congress Party would distribute the nation's wealth to infiltrators and those who have many children. Comments widely seen as referring to Muslims. Nigeria is hosting a counter-terrorism summit aimed at improving West Africa's response to the threat from Islamist militant groups. Attacks have increased in recent years across the Sahel region, despite the presence of thousands of international troops. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin are the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square, and I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That, unlike the no-gets, ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
This is Cody Scott, and I work in the water and wastewater sector. I am concerned about the vulnerability of our island's freshwater resources to climate change. Less rainfall and sea level rise affect the amount and quality of our natural freshwater. Households and the agricultural sector depend on these resources, as do our wetlands and forests. Protecting our freshwater resources is a critical priority. To learn more about the climate risk to our islands, visit www.gov.ky/climate change policy.
The 8 a.m. Weather Report, brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 82 degrees. Relative humidity is 75%. The barometric pressure is 29.94 inches and rising. The wind is out of the northeast at 8 knots. Overnight low temperature was 77 degrees. Synopsis indicate light northeasterly winds and seas expected for the next 24 hours in association with a weak ridge of high pressure over the northwest Caribbean. Satellite images show a few low-level clouds over Grand Cayman. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today and tonight, calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will be in the mid-80s today and will fall to the upper 70s tonight. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. We're presently at a high tide, and the next low tide will be this afternoon at 2:37, and a high tide again tonight at 9:21. The sun will set this evening at 6:44 and will rise tomorrow morning at 2 minutes past 6. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Wednesday morning. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to
The 8 a.m. Weather Report, brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning once again. Let's see what's happening on our roads. Moderate flow of traffic on Godfrey Nixon Way and Easton Avenue, and coming from the Westway four-way stop. Traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway is heavy. Delays expected. Steady traffic coming off of Agnes Way as well as Bobby Thompson Way. And slow-moving traffic on Cool Road heading to Georgetown. Eastbound traffic on Cool Road is moving on pretty good. Edward Street, moderate flow of traffic into Georgetown and Shedden Road looking pretty good as well. And out of Georgetown and Shedden Road, light traffic. Coming off of the Esley Tibbetts Highway, steady bit flow in traffic, as well as on North Sound Road. Moderate flow of traffic heading towards the Industrial Park area. On the West Bay Road, in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions and traffic flowing at a good pace on Owen Roberts Drive. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
The Rotary Cayman Islands Sunset $10,000 raffle happening Saturday, May 25th. Tickets only $10, 3 tickets only $25, 5 tickets for $40 from any Rotary Sunset member. All proceeds will support Rotary Sunset community projects including Feed Our Future, the Sunrise Adult Training Center, Adopt a School program, the Marie Martin Georgetown Primary School, the Crisis Center, and many more. The new Rotary Sunset Club, NPO number 656. Get your ticket, get your chance. Rotary Sunset, creating hope in the world.
Digicel has teamed up with Capella. We're giving away tickets for you and a friend to attend Cayman's biggest music festival. Win 2 Capella tickets. Simply activate a 30-day Prime Max plan or be an active postpaid customer and you could be our lucky winner. Don't miss out on this epic event. Go to your nearest Digicel store today or the My Digicel app for your chance to win. Digicel. Better connected.
Let me tell you something. I've been fishing our island since I was a boy, and it's getting harder and harder to get a good catch. Maybe it's because there are so many more people in Cayman than ever before. Maybe it's because of how the climate is changing. I don't know about that, but I do know that I want to be able to keep fishing and teach my children to fish one day as well. So it makes sense to me that we have certain areas and certain times of the year to fish for certain things. It feels unfair not to be allowed to fish where my dad had taught me to fish, but I know that being patient now means we can keep fishing for many more generations. We're all in this together, right?
For more info, download the Cayman DOE app or visit doe.ky.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me the Honorable Sabrina Turner, Minister with responsibility for health, wellness, and home affairs, and Chief Nursing Officer, Ms. Felicia McLean. We're talking about the National Health Strategy Consultation, the launch of it. It will commence on the 1st of May and run through the 31st of May. It is being undertaken with the support from the Pan American Health Organization. It will help in the development of an overarching guiding document for the Cayman Islands that defines a 10-year strategic direction with regard to health and the healthcare system. Public consultation is being conducted to ensure that the new strategy is informed by a range of key stakeholders. So they really, really want to hear from you. We know that some people, when the things are developed, nobody inquired of me, nobody asked me any questions, about it as well. So, folks, here is your opportunity to get involved in the process. And I'm going to give you this quote: "Everyone engages with the healthcare sector in some way." Those are the words of our Chief Nursing Officer, Ms. Felicia McLean. Whether for ourselves or for our loved ones, access to health care is something that impacts all of us throughout our lifespan. Therefore, your voice matters to us as we work towards creating a national health strategy that truly reflects our community needs. Those are your words, Ms. Felicia.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, so this national health strategy, for those that are asking that question, basically it's the overarching policy that's going to guide stuff like leadership and governance over healthcare. It's going to also look at health financing. How do we, manage to meet the needs? The health workforce, so all of the people who work within healthcare, what that looks like. We also recognize the diversity we have locally in regards to all the different areas you can access healthcare. So looking at a collaboration of, what maybe one place does better than the other and how can we make it so it's a national standard and not just this one does it this way. way. Also going on there and looking at health promotion and social participation. So when we look at health promotion, we saw in COVID all the things that have happened from there, the mental health issues that have happened from there. We really want to look at how are we promoting wellness and educating our population so that we can have more preventative care to help manage people's and prevent illness and disease. We're looking also at service delivery and access, so how easy it is for someone to access healthcare. All of these kind of things, the health IT, health research, and then also, as Minister Turner mentioned, looking at the impact on health that the environment might have or our culture can have on it. We want that holistic approach to managing health and wellness in the Cayman Islands, and we want a standard that says this is the bare minimum, or this is what we're achieving, and this is what would be like over the top, so that as we put things in place that will help guide the government on a whole going forward for the next 10 years as to what healthcare should look like in the Cayman Islands. And we can't do it without hearing from the people.
And it would guide the type of legislation that you put in place, whether for the government side of things or for the public sector as well. And Minister, you mentioned funding. And one of the challenges I've noticed in several Caribbean countries where they're now asking their legislatures, parliaments, whatever they are, to write off public debt as far as healthcare is concerned, especially when that healthcare is provided by the government. Because you can't morally and probably even legally deny someone healthcare, especially if you're the government. Private sector may have a moral obligation, to honor their motto of do no harm.
Correct.
But government has a legal responsibility as well. And we know that here in the Cayman Islands, we have written off
so much,
and there's probably more waiting to be written off, as well. So those are issues that you would be looking at as well.
Yes, sir. It is actually in the deliverables for this, and if you give me a moment, I would be more than happy to just delve into that a little bit more for clarity. The development of this overall health sector, it includes the assessment, technical analysis, as well as the opinions and viewpoints of the very stakeholders, which I'll get into those just a little bit. Priority setting for the national health policies overall, strategies and plans to determine the strategic direction of healthcare plan that's moving forward. And then, as I alluded to earlier on, strategic planning, transforming priorities into plans. Operational planning, which was absent, which is transforming plans into actions. That is where we need the civil servants to bring this over the finish line so that the public will actually see what this whole strategy is all about. Your legislators, your MPs, your ministers actually make laws. Who carries them out is the civil service arm. That's the operational arm. Estimating cost implications, as we were talking about earlier, of a national health strategy that provides costing options for this entire plan, and the process of estimating costs to consider the extent of which policy objectives and strategic orientations are feasible and affordable, which is why access to healthcare, getting the Health Insurance Act, holding people accountable is priority. But again, that holding people accountable rests on the shoulder of the machinery called the civil service that we hand in hand work with. And monitoring, evaluation, and review plan that also outlines how monitoring, evaluation, and review requires an integrated approach that builds one single country-led monitoring and evaluation. So, Mr. Connor, it is imperative that we actually encourage persons when our ministry reach out to other government agencies, government ministries, government departments, boards, committees, commission, councils, healthcare practitioners, both public and private, healthcare insurance companies as well, again, public and private, non-for-profit organization, and faith-based organizations. right there, that encapsulates who we want to be around the table to help us with this plan that will take us in and cover us for the next 10 years. So it's important, sir, that we get this right. 7 years has passed. I am now excited, getting ready to move. And as we say, we're going to be reaching out our communication plans by way of appearing on talk shows like this, public meetings, the surveys, social media posts, amongst other avenues. This is evolving as we speak, but it's imperative that we get it out there and separate the two from the STEP surveys that we are just about ready now to deliver those results so that that can also prepare us for the next budget portion that has already been done, that we will see exactly where healthcare is and the state of our healthcare is in the Cayman Islands. So this is separate from the STEP survey. This is something else, which is why it's imperative that we get the communication plans right. And you will be hearing from other members of staff within the ministry as we actually participate in this 1 month long of just informing the public.
And you mentioned the fact that you're getting assistance from PAHO
yes, sir.
on this as well. I would use one example because I was involved in this. When the constitutional negotiations and consultations and everything were taking place, an umbrella organization was established, the Secretariat, to oversee everything in relation to it. Are there any plans to have a specific body either within the ministry or cross ministries to monitor what is taking place now, to almost administer the whole process so that it is not left to individual entities to do so?
Structure, organization is key.
So our policy team is on that, and actually out of some of the key stakeholders that ministers already mentioned, we have we're creating an engagement kind of group that's going to continue to work with that. So key people across all the government entities or someone they put forward, and also key people from the nonprofits, that will create that kind of not working group, but more of that overarching group that's going to help us as we go through this process to continue to understand it, to inform it, and then to drive it forward.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the questions, does it matter if I participate or not?
It definitely matters.
Everyone
matters because everyone has a different experience. I might go to the hospital, I might have an amazing experience, and you may go and you have a different one. So yours and mine, we both need to know. We can't put a policy together with only one version of what happens in the healthcare system. Everyone's version is different. Everyone accesses, as I mentioned in my quote, healthcare at some point in time, and we want to hear from you. That's why we're going as far as to our teenagers, our young adults, because we want to hear from them. They also are currently using the system and will continue to use it for the next 10 years. So why not have their input?
Correct.
Everyone's input. If you're older population and you don't get out, you might have struggles getting to the healthcare system, and that might be something you want to report. So everyone's voice matters, and we want to hear from it.
And the private sector, extremely important because we see more and more
popping up
wellness facilities.
Yes,
That doesn't necessarily have to be a hospital. It could be persons doing physical therapy or whatever. And it would be good to hear from them in terms of what their plans are for the future in terms of their development.
Yeah, exactly. What they expect from us. But that is why not having a national document, it leaves too much room for anything to happen.
Yes.
And that in itself is a risk. We can't take risks on people's lives. When you talk about healthcare, that's holistic, that's 360. It only takes one mess up to pretty much cripple our healthcare system. If, let's say, some investigative exploratory drug goes wrong, what type of reputational damage would that have on this jurisdiction? And that is one element of why it's important for us to have this healthcare policy and strategy, so that we can get that right at all levels, and people would know where our what is our standards
as
here
well
in
as where we
healthcare.
want to go from here. So if you think about it, let's just say someone has recognized that we don't have a particular need that a person might need. This will help inform us as to what we want to work towards, what
Correct.
services should we be looking at
Correct.
adding. So when people are coming to us and saying we want to start this particular healthcare facility in the Cayman Islands, do we need it based on this policy? What did people say they need? Let's help make sure we meet those needs first before we just add other things to our infrastructure.
Yeah.
Now, Minister, I know that we have you scheduled again. I think it's for the 29th.
That'll probably be some other persons from my ministry, but I can assure you that this entire week, to make sure that we capture all audiences and to be fair with all media houses, almost every day of this week, I'm on some radio station of some form. So, but it doesn't stop with me because, like I said, it's a team effort. So not all appearances I will be on. There will be representatives from the ministry that will be delving into more operational arm of it. The whole purpose of this show this morning, sir, was to just break the ice. We know that we have the press release that went out. It's just giving us the opportunity to explain to people exactly what this particular exercise is all about, and kind of separating it a little bit from the STEP survey, definitely.
And then later on in the process, once there will be a huge PR effort again afterward to let
and
the
on the
public
floor
know.
of Parliament, because we have to get cabinet support, and definitely this is a national policy that will take us from 2024 to 2034. And it's funny how you were mentioning the importance of including the youth. Someone who is listening to me right now that's maybe just the age of 8, it may be a little blurb what Miss Sabrina is saying right now. In 10 years, they're going to be 18. Someone who's 18 now will be 28 in 34. So if you think that this does not have far-reaching, I don't even want to go where I could be at age. We're not going there, Mr. Connor. But I'm not even going to go there. But what I'm saying is this is setting the tone, the pace for the next 10 years for our country. Why would you not want to be heard? Why wouldn't you want to be around the table?
And it's also addressing the complaints and the criticism that some people, have and say, we're going, but we really don't know where, where we're going.
Exactly. This is a roadmap, and we have international standards. It's not just something that we're cutting and pasting from another jurisdiction because it works there, but it's totally different for us here in the Cayman Islands. We are making sure that the assistance, and we're so grateful for Pan American Health Organization to be able to come in and to help support us, but we're not forgetting that we are making a document for the Cayman Islands that could be internationally accepted as well.
They will be assisting you more in the process
than telling us what is for us. We are telling them what is for us. How can you bring it so that it meets international standards and doesn't breach any legislation from an international front, sir?
Okay, some final closing comments coming from you, Ms. Felicia, and then you, Minister.
My only closing comments, and this happens with all surveys, is my information confidential? Can people, figure out who it is completely confidential in that regard? Like we said, PAHO is actually hosting the stuff over there, so we're not even holding it here locally. We're helping them to gather information. We're that bridge, but the information is over there, and even in there, you're not asked to identify yourself by name anyway. So it is confidential, but your voice is very important. So I encourage everyone in the Cayman Islands to let their voice be heard.
Okay,
thank you so much for this opportunity, Mr. Connor, and it's always a pleasure to come back. I always say come back home. But, as the Cayman Islands healthcare landscape becomes increasingly complex, it is critical that we get this right. It is critical that we get a national strategic framework that addresses many components in a coherent way, working towards, the shared overarching goals of health and wellness here for the Cayman Islands. I, again, would like to publicly thank the ministry team for PAHO for, obviously, we're very attractive, and Cayman Islands is not a hard sell, but I'm really looking forward to the results of this plan, charting our course here for the Cayman Islands in the next 10 years.
Okay, thank you all. Look forward to having you back again as well. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Later on, we're going to have Minister Katherine Ebanks-Wilks in the studio with us as well. So lots of talking this morning as usual. Important stuff, though, extremely important. Not trivial stuff, but important things. And we know, again, I'm going to say this, we know our people in the Cayman Islands, they will wait until the last second, or later on they'll say, oh, but nobody came to me. I didn't know anything about it. You heard the minister, you heard the chief nursing officer talk about the strategy that they will be employing in terms of reaching out to people, letting them know what's going on, but also with the help of a reputable international organization to assist them in that endeavor as well. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my healthcare instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square, and I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Let's talk health, Cayman. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is launching a public consultation on May 1st to help develop a new national health strategy for the Cayman Islands, and we need your help. We want to hear your thoughts and experiences with healthcare across all three of our islands. Your voice matters. Log on to gov.ky/health-wellness or email mohfeedback@gov.ky to learn more or to get involved.
This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I now have the pleasure, and I announced earlier, to have in the studio with me Minister Katherine Ebanks-Wilks. We're going to be talking about the national energy policy, and we have Miss Kristen Smith, who is the senior policy advisor in the ministry as well. Minister, over to you.
Good morning, OC. Thank you for having us on this morning, and good morning to all of your listening audience. It is a joy, as always, to be here with you and to be able to share with the good people of the Cayman Islands what we have been working on in the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. Before I get into anything, I first want to say Happy Earth Day.
Yes, that's right. Today's Earth Day.
So the Department of Environment has a list of activities on their website. So just want to encourage the public to pull up the Department of Environment's website so that they can see the list of activities that they have prepared in honor or in celebration of Earth Day, Earth Week. And OC, we're here today. I'm here with Senior Policy Advisor Mrs. Kristen Smith. We want to share with the public some exciting news about the updated National Energy Policy, which was approved by Cabinet last Tuesday. And so we just want to share with the public a bit about that so that everyone understands what these changes mean for the Cayman Islands and how it will benefit the residents of Cayman.
Okay. So tell us some, more about the policy itself.
So about the policy, as many of the members of the public might recall, the initial policy was established in 2017, and it was scheduled for a 5-year review. Mm-hmm. So the 5-year review has been completed, and that is what the ministry team, Ms. Kristen, and also just want to take a moment to give a shout out to the team back at the Ministry of Sustainability, Ms. Karen Ford, who also has done an extensive amount of work along with Ms. Kristen on this, and Deputy Chief Officer Troy Jacobs, who is responsible for this unit. So I just want to shout them out because this wouldn't be possible without all of their hard work, as well as the council. Ms. Kristen, maybe you can share a little bit about who is on the council.
Yes, the Energy Policy Council was instrumental in meeting very regularly to get this policy through. We have the chairman of the council, which is Mr. James Whitaker from the Cayman Renewable Energy Association. Representatives also include OFREG, CUC, Department of Environment, Department of Planning, and some key people from civil society, Winston Connolly, Eden Hurlston, Charles Barrington, Andrew Small, numerous others, I think. About 12 members are on the council who met to get this policy through, and a lot of back and forth negotiation with the public and with the council to get this through. So thank you to them.
Yes, so we don't want to leave them out because we know that this exercise has been possible because of a team or a collective effort. So with that being said, during the review period, there was a series of consultation that took place. And Ms. Kristen, I don't know if you want to elaborate a little about the consultation period.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So we started in September 2022. There was a lot of one-on-one meetings with key stakeholders to help develop the first draft. And then we launched that in August. And we also, before that, we had focus group meetings, big focus group meetings in February last year. And then we launched the public consultation draft. We held virtual town hall meetings, received written feedback, and so back and forth looking at this written feedback that was provided and to get to our final draft and approval.
Okay. I'm reading something here, and it seems as if you're on track with this. It says that this policy mandated review focuses heavily on revising the implementation plan and engaging with key stakeholders responsible for the implementation of the strategies within the policy itself. Mm-hmm. So that's part of what you spoke about earlier. Absolutely. In terms of the key stakeholders.
So along with the policy document, we actually have an implementation and monitoring plan, and this plan sets out very specifically like 5-year priorities and key stakeholders that are going to be on this new committee to implement these priorities. So that's also available online on our website, gov.ky/energy.
And can we speak a little bit about the vision of the that we have in relation to energy sustainability?
The vision really is that we want to, see the Cayman Islands moving forward, uptaking more cleaner energy, more sustainable practices, and as a result of that, we have a healthier, cleaner environment, as well as there should be, residents should see it, in their pocketbooks. It should be much more affordable. And so as we continue to move towards a more renewable source of energy, the consumers, all the residents of the Cayman Islands should then be seeing, these improvements, in their expenses. Did you want to chime in any more on that, Ms. Kristen?
That's absolutely right. So we're hoping we've added affordable into our...
Affordable is what I was looking for.
Yeah, into our into our vision statement, because actually that is a key goal, as well as having cleaner energy, as the minister said. So hopefully these new targets, the interim target of the 70% is still there. We've just added some new targets to this policy.
Okay.
You want us to?
Yeah.
Oh, you're reviewing the press release?
Go right ahead. You can go right ahead. Yes.
Well, what we wanted to do was just to share a little bit with the public about some of the changes that the policy now encompasses, and just, I guess, give more of an understanding to general public on what these changes actually mean. So one of the things that was changed is that the original position had a target date of 2050. That has been changed to 2045. And I think that it is a topic for debate because, you know, some people are of the view that it is a very ambitious target. But as we want to continue to impress upon the people of the country to uptake in more sustainable practices, we do this by, you know, setting targets that make people work more aggressively to achieve them. And so that's one of the changes. Again, this wasn't a decision that was just made, you know, we didn't just pull this number out of the sky. This number, when I say number, I mean 2045, came from extensive public consultation, and this is what the people of the Cayman Islands felt was an achievable target. And so that's one of the changes. And then we also, Ms. Kristen, you want to chime in on any of these, or you want me to just give a stab? Or
just to elaborate on the 2045 target, it was also from looking at other jurisdictions and looking at the support, the technical support resources that we can obtain from other jurisdictions by setting these more aggressive targets in line with what other countries are doing. They were stated that if we get this target, then they will support us. So that was another reason as well, looking for that outside support to get to these targets and the information and resources we could obtain. We still have that interim target of the 70% by 2037, and we have an interim target of the 30% by 2030. So we will refresh and look at these targets as we go on, but this is what we're looking at now.
And can we talk a little bit about, you know, how we're going to be able to achieve those targets?
So that's set out in the implementation plan. So we have the high-level implementation plan. We'll come together as a committee and we'll start to interact to the best way to achieve these, implement these policies. So
another exciting change, I think, for the residents will be, as they will figure out very quickly, is that the policy also sets out a definition for the right to self-consume renewable energy. And, you know, this is, you know, an opportunity to explore the right to install up to 20 kilowatts of solar plus storage. Ms. Kristen, you want to chime in? She's the technical expert, so she's here today. I would not try to come on the show and make it appear that I've just stepped into this role and I know absolutely every single thing that they've been working on for a number of years. So.
Sure, understood. What we'll do is we'll take a commercial break, and this way we won't have to interrupt her to go to a commercial break after. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square, and I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what though, this old girl feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Let's talk health, Cayman. The Ministry of Health and Wellness is launching a public consultation on May 1st to help develop a new national health strategy for the Cayman Islands. And we need your help. We want to hear your thoughts and experiences with healthcare across all 3 of our islands. Your voice matters. Log on to gov.ky/health-wellness or email mohfeedback@gov.ky to learn more or to get involved.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me Minister Katherine Ebanks-Wilks and Miss Kristen Smith, who's the Senior Policy Advisor in the ministry. Before we went to the break, I interrupted Miss Smith to avoid having to interrupt her to go to a commercial break. So over to you, Miss Smith.
Yes, we were talking about the right to renewable energy, which is a new strategy within the policy. We watched other jurisdictions implement this, and we thought this would be right for our country as well. So it's a right to install up to 20 kilowatts of AC solar plus battery storage. It doesn't mean run out and put up solar today. It means that this is a high-level policy, and we're going to look at the implementation plan of the best way to do this, of course, working with the utilities to ensure everything is installed safely and no interruptions. But it is in the 5-year priorities to get this on there so that residents can install solar.
Now, how much is that contingent on whatever licensing agreements that you may have with any provider on the island at present?
Yeah, so those are absolutely the things that we have to look at now. When we have the committee meetings and setting the actual implementation outputs and the new policy for whatever program name you want to call it to get this online.
Okay, Minister?
There's another great thing that I think a lot of residents have been wanting clarity on, which is the definition of utility scale solar. And so the policy actually sets out the definition of utility scale. Again, this has come about from the public consultation process, and it aids in the regulatory clarity, I should say, because I know right now there really isn't a definition on what, well, prior to the passage of this policy. I can't say right now because this is in force now. But now we have a definition for what is deemed utility scale solar.
Okay. You can go back to your talking points if you want.
So OC, I mean, I think for the Cayman Islands, those 2 elements, the right to self-consume renewable energy and the inclusion now of a definition for utility scale will certainly aid. It's certainly strategies to assist the government with reaching the targets that have been set in the updated policy. In addition to that, Ms. Kristen, what else am I missing for our updates? We also have, I know there's a few others that, there's also there isn't a change, the LNG. It isn't a change that the language that was previously in the 2017 policy Do you recall the language? I just don't want to misquote it.
Yes, the language. The LNG has been quite a debate back and forth of whether to leave it in or not. So the language that we used in the actual public consultation document, we thought about where it says, where it's proven to be economically advantageous and prudent to consider the introduction of alternative transitional fuels, such as natural gas. That's been quite the debate of whether we should continue and have a transitional fuel or go straight to renewable energy. So during the public consultation, we met with several stakeholders, and it was determined that let's leave it in for now. It's not to say that we're going to use natural gas, but let's leave it in as a strategy to look and see if we can use this. Because it's been said that it would help to, if we bring it in, it's a lower cost diesel, and it would help to reduce the cost for our electricity bills. So we're leaving it in as something to look at while we also go forward with our renewables, because they're also in tandem. And in 2 years, we'll look and see if this is still something. So we've left that in there. And it's quite a debate in the community, for sure. So.
And I would imagine that part of that debate would be, how do you transition from one to the other? How do you phase it in? And the consumer, how do they go about it? Who absorbs the expense, of doing that as well? So there are so many variables that have to be taken into consideration.
We've actually added a section in the implementation plan to ensure that it's brought in safely, the transportation as well as the distribution, because this is just for electricity generation, not for households like LPG. This is just for where they have dual fuel tanks at CUC. They're looking to change out their tanks so that they can use either diesel or LNG. So if something happens in the world and there's no LNG, we can easily switch back to diesel. So we have more options. We need that. And the integrated resource plan that's due to be done will show what's the best energy mix for Cayman.
As well as the implementation plan, further to what Ms. Kristen was just speaking about, the report that will be done to study all of these elements also will be reviewing the feasibility. So it will consider all of those elements before a decision has been made on whether or not it will be implemented. And then I guess this is probably a good time to speak about the review period of the policy. So I think most people that are familiar with the national energy policy would be of the mind that it would be another 5-year review period. However, because this is a space that is changing very rapidly, we decided as a government that it would be reviewed in 2 years. And I think that's probably a good timing with some of these elements that we're looking into exploring. By that point, we should know whether or not it's something that will be considered or, decided upon, and then the policy can have a more, we'll have more robust language to say the way forward in these particular areas. In terms of the other changes, am I missing? I know it was one about the solicitation.
Yes, so in the implementation plan, we've talked a lot so far about distributed generation, but the 5-year priorities now set out key things such as really making a priority for the regulator to solicit and approve utility scale. We really like to launch forward with the utility scale projects. They have, 2 years ago, they launched the request for quotations for utility scale bids, and they have already selected their preferred bidders. So then now they're tightening up their request for proposals for the actual technical bid to go out and launch that. So we make sure that that was in the 5-year priorities. Hey, government is fully supportive. Let's get going with getting some utility scale as well. So this policy really looked at both utility scale and the distributed generation to show that there is that mixture, because it takes a while to issue the utility scale. So we really do need something intermediate in the meantime. And we're hoping that the new strategies will help to launch these additional programs.
Now, this should be of interest to some of our listeners, or many of our listeners, I should say. Talks about the plan including strategies to facilitate the transition to 100% electric vehicles by 2045. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, electric vehicles is something I'm sure a lot of people are wondering how we can achieve this target. It's just something that will help with, especially with the clean air target, reducing our emissions. We'd really like to transition to more electric vehicles, as well as the public transportation will also help getting those to be electric. We need to come together and do more incentives. Currently, there's a certain portion of electric vehicles that are duty-free. We're going to look at even more incentives. And we also have to look at the infrastructure around the island.
Right.
We do have quite a few charging stations already. Government has put in quite a few charging stations around their buildings. And OFREC has approved a pilot project for charging. So we're going to look at this more heavily now and put out more the permitting processes and all those to really support people to bring in electric vehicles.
And that is something that a lot of the other jurisdictions are doing as well, is incentive programs, starting with the charging stations. So again, it's a space that we as a government can look into in the future.
Okay, we have reached that time, top of the hour, for our headline news at 9 o'clock. When we return, the conversation will continue with Miss Kristen Smith and Minister Katherine Ebanks-Wilks. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Radio station. Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
It's a green light for the new national energy policy. It's the first update since its initial approval by government back in 2017. Customers will now be empowered with the right to produce and self-consume up to 20 kilowatts of solar power along with battery energy storage. It also outlines various strategies to support the revised target of achieving 100% renewable energy penetration by 2045. Donald Trump's criminal trial in New York is about to enter a pivotal phase as the defense and prosecution deliver opening statements. Trump is accused of trying to cover up a $130,000 hush money payment to porn star Stormy Daniels before he won the 2016 election. He's pleaded not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records and also denies having an affair with Daniels. David Pecker, former publisher of the National Enquirer who bought and buried damaging stories about Trump, is expected to be the first witness for the prosecution. The first week of the hush money trial focused on selecting a jury of 12 people, with many ruled out because of potential bias. This is the first time a U.S. president, current or former, has faced a criminal trial. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI-accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Ms. Kristen Smith, who is a senior policy advisor in the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resilience, also the minister responsible for that particular ministry, Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks. We're talking about the national energy policy, but at some point in time, we will talk about other initiatives that are being undertaken by the ministry as well. Ladies, back over to you.
Thanks, OC. I think we've shared a bit about the big changes that the policy entails. The long and short of it is that as we continue to move towards these targets and these particular strategies that we spoke about, will essentially aid in a more affordable Cayman Islands, a cost of living that we hope to see improved in the near future as a result of the passage of the national energy policy, the updated national energy policy. And of course, news like this, we don't want to just be overlooked. We want to let the public know that these are initiatives that the ministry is working on, and once the implementation plan has the committee up and running to enforce the implementation plan, then we'll start to do the studies. And once the studies are completed, then maybe there may be even more changes to be seen here in Cayman to reduce the cost of living. And with that being said, I know you'd asked a question earlier about what are other initiatives that can be done or should be done to help us achieve these targets. So we're just going to share a little bit about some of the things that the ministry staff, particularly the energy unit, Ms. Kristen and Ms. Karen, have been working on. All of these projects align with our goals of reaching our targets from the national energy policy. And I know one of the things was the Cayman Home Energy Efficiency Retrofit Program.
Mm-hmm.
And Ms. Kristen, I don't want to take too much of your thunder, so I'll leave you to share a bit about what you guys have been working on and how that's been going.
Mm-hmm. This came out of a pilot program that we did a few years ago for one home to receive a home energy retrofit. We had a big sponsorship. We had have a $30,000 makeover, and we retrofitted one home with new air conditioner and new insulation, and their energy consumption reduced by 50%.
Wow.
So we said, let's go bigger. Let's do a bigger pilot program, and the government kindly funded us with $500,000, and we've selected 26 homes, and they've completed their energy audits. Thank you to Caribbean Utilities Company, who audited those homes for us and provided a proper report of the changes that should be done. We are working with Resiliency Cayman to manage the project. So they helped to shortlist all the homes, come out with the criteria. So they shortlisted the homes based on select criteria of low-income homeowners that really needed a reduction in their energy.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've reached the point where they've received quotes. So I think about 15 homes now have received quotes for insulation and or air conditioners. So a lot of these homes do not have insulation, so they're hot boxes. So those should be by the end of this month, by May, we should be getting insulation. We should start seeing some results by June of reduced energy consumption. So we'll keep you posted on those results, because we really want to show the importance. If you're building your new home, if you have some time to look into insulation for your existing home, that really does make a difference to reduce your energy bills.
Okay. One of our listeners has written and said they entitled it the 20 kilowatt renewable policy. Grateful if the host could confirm as to whether the 20 kilowatt will be for grid tie or off grid. If this is off grid with no tie in possible to the grid, with or without batteries, please confirm that this is immediately possible, so the consumers can immediately start an incremental rollout, separating the system with its own disconnect, of course.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So this is in strategy, I'm going to say, I don't know off the top of my head. So it's both. So it's looking at people who want to be completely off the grid, and what's their strategy for that, as well as people that want to be tied to have that backup, because there'll have to be two different strategies to ensure it's safely connected. So those are the programs that we're going to roll out and set up. What are your requirements to do this? Absolutely, we'll have both options.
And I guess just to chime in a little, to piggyback off what Ms. Kristen said, the implementation plan will also ensure that this is done in a way that will not affect grid reliability.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So that's one of the things that we want to ensure. However it is installed or produced, it's done in a way where it doesn't impact all of the other residents with affecting the stability of the grid.
Mm-hmm. This other listener had some comments about private electric vehicles, and of course, this can be argued more ways than one. They point at the fact that we were living in a flat country, so the possibilities of flooding and everything. Mm-hmm. But they also commented, and I know that the representatives from CUC were on talk today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks not too long ago. But, and I'm not sure whether or not you want to address this, but it says also, can the guest say why CUC is fighting the move to public solar? I guess they're making that assumption that CUC is fighting that move to public solar. Can you in any way opine on what CUC's role is in the rollout of this policy? And
I'm not sure what they mean by public solar, but the utilities, both Island Energy in the Sister Islands and CUC in Grand Cayman, they're both very keen to roll out renewable energy. The whole the sticking point seems to be how to get there, but the great thing is that everybody is on board and everybody's looking forward to this request for proposals from Off-Reg to get going with rolling out utility scale solar.
Okay. Minister?
The other program, so coming off of the CHAIR program that the ministry has been working on, is we refer to it as the RESIMBID program, which is Resilience, Sustainable Energy and Marine Biodiversity, which is funded by the EU. And again, some people may have seen recently there was a press release that was done where there were some representatives visiting, and they were out doing a few of the energy audits at some of the public buildings, and they were over by Parliament, I think, just to really give the results of their audit. So again, I'll let Ms. Kristen just speak a little bit about this, since this is something that she has been heavily involved with.
Yes, this has been a great program because it's a very holistic program where we received funding from the European Union for 1.2 million euros to energy audit public sector buildings as well as residential buildings. And so a couple months ago, the team that is responsible for helping us with the funding, Expertise France, who is implementing the program on behalf of the EU, they came down to say, well, what are we doing with your money? Right? So it's about 9 organizations on Grand Cayman that received grants from the EU. So they visited with us, and they were very impressed with the prospects of retrofitting the Parliament building. So that was one of our options. So we audited 13 buildings, including 3 schools and 2 buildings on Cayman Brac, 1 in Little Cayman. So we had an energy auditor go to all these buildings. The reports are just back this week, all of the reports. And it's been very interesting results, and we're excited to go forward. We can retrofit 3 of those buildings. For the residential, we had to focus on government housing. So we focused on the National Housing Development Trust. 10 of those homeowners were selected. We opened it up and said, would you like to take part? Selected 10. We had a social.
Are they all in one development, or are they
all
scattered
every district?
across? Okay.
So West Bay, East End, Boddentown, I think Northside didn't have any at the time. They're still under construction. Yeah. So all of those buildings. Georgetown as well. So we had from each socioeconomic consultant made sure it was done fairly. And now we've reached the point, the audits are done. We've selected our insulation provider. We put out bids, get local provider for insulation, for air conditioning, and they also get solar as well. So all those bids are completed, and we're looking to award contracts and get started with those retrofits as well. And also the program also includes funding for a financial consultant to see how do we fund more, not just these 10. We've seen the greatness of retrofitting these 10. Let's fund more NHTT homes. Let's fund more public sector building audits. And it's been great information working with Public Works and Ministry of Education, facilities team to review these audits and see what can be done. Even if we don't retrofit it, here's a report for you so that when you in the future, when you get budget, retrofit as you go along. It doesn't mean everything has to be done at once, but you have some information of when something goes broke, let's fix it with a more efficient model.
And will this also inform how we move forward as far as building is concerned when it comes to the National Housing Development Trust, rather than going back to the traditional way, moving forward now with the homes that are being built, factor those things that you've learned into that as well?
So the program also includes funding for a policy to create some standards for new building. And I believe the new homes they're building in Northside have more energy efficient standards. They've taken that on board, which is excellent. So yes, that we're hoping to set some minimum standards for ensuring that, yes, you build these affordable homes, but make sure they're energy efficient so people can afford the monthly costs.
One of our listeners says, thanks very much for the very informative show, so people feel that they're being well informed with this discussion. And one person wanted to know, how do we address the issue? I think it may have been the same person who spoke about the terrain in the Cayman Islands being flat and the risk of flooding with electric vehicles, and how do we go about addressing or making electric cars much safer. Now, of course, we don't build them here, so that's not really for us to do, but I would imagine that the government could probably set some sort of policy in terms of what types of electric vehicles that would be allowed to be imported, especially if you are granting concessions to those persons who import them. Then you may say, well, we should have at least the right to tell you what type of vehicle that we're going to allow you to bring in, which will address some of the concerns.
Absolutely. And I think now the technology is changing. We have more electric vehicle trucks now, more vans where we didn't have back in the day. So not just the small little Nissan Leafs or the electric smart cars. We do have a broader range. And as we get to 2045, I'm sure it'll improve as well with the type of technology available. So that's what we're hoping to roll out slowly, as these options become more available worldwide.
Okay, and one more technical question, but Miss Kristen seems to be...
Oh, yeah, I'm so glad that I brought her along.
Yeah, this person says, is it possible to have a mix of the two, i.e. some off-grid separate from an existing installation?
Are we talking about solar, move from electric vehicles? That's the non-export is also in the implementation plan. That new strategy has been added as well about non-export to the grid. So that's something that we'll be looking at as what the best way to roll out this implementation, but it is absolutely in there.
Okay, Minister, we know that you have other commitments as well. How much longer are you able to stay?
We actually need to wrap up pretty soon because we have caucus this morning, but I want to thank you.
What we'll do is we'll take a commercial break and come back on, give you an opportunity to wrap up and some closing comments as well. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Hey, K-Man, this is Pastor Elson Ebanks. I want to invite you to come out and join us on Saturday, May 18th, 2024 for March for Jesus. I remember those events from years past, and I'm so happy we're doing them again. So join us on Saturday, May 18th, March for Jesus, celebrating our Lord Jesus Christ.
For more information, visit Christian.ky and click on the March for Jesus tab.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
You know who this is? That same old girl that went to Hollywood and Panama? Well, guess what? The fun ain't done yet, because this year, I'm going to country concerts in Denver. I got kick up my heels in Times Square, and I got find my way to Barbados. I got keep living the dream with Cayman Airways. We so blessed to have them. I tell you what, though, this old girl's feeling younger than ever.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering international non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, Denver, Los Angeles, Panama, Kingston, Mobay, La Ceiba, and Havana, plus Barbados. Enjoy free rum punch, free in-flight entertainment, free seat selection, and free meals on select flights. Call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
If you're a parent, you know that providing your child with a quality early childhood education can be expensive. However, the Ministry of Education offers financial assistance through its Early Childhood Assistance Program to help qualifying Caymanian families cover the costs at registered early childhood settings. Visit our online application portal at moeapplications.gov.ky to learn more and get started. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Education.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the discussion with Miss Kristen Smith, who's the Senior Policy Advisor in the Ministry of Sustainability and Resiliency, and the Minister responsible, Honorable Katherine Ebanks-Wilks. We've been talking about the National Energy Policy as well as other initiatives that have been taking place within the ministry as well. We want to give them an opportunity to cover any points that they may have missed, and also for some closing comments, since they have other obligations that they have to honor as well this morning. Ladies.
Before I wrap up, I'll just leave Ms. Kristen with an opportunity. I know she has been doing a lot of work with ensuring that residents have the information available to them for, I guess, capitalizing on affordability and ways to reduce cost. So I know you had some tips you wanted to share.
Absolutely. Summer is coming, so I'd really like people to pay attention to their homes and little tips that they can do to help to reduce their consumption. We do have a DIY energy audit on our website, gov.ky/energy. Really pay attention to your air conditioning unit. Now is the time to get your filters clean, get the AC serviced. Listen to it. Is it running nonstop? These are the things that can drive up costs. My AC was running nonstop for 24 hours, and that bill went up just from that one day.
I can imagine. So
really just listen to what your unit's doing, have it serviced. The hot months are coming. When you leave the home, considering turning it up a few degrees to really just reduce your consumption. So please look at our website for some tips and also other information and projects that the ministry is working on, gov.ky/energy.
Okay. Minister?
OC, the government is certainly excited to support the updated national energy policy, and I'm so happy to have such an amazing team that have worked so hard to get this to the finish line. I know it has not been an easy task, and I say to them all the time that for such a small staff complement, they really do churn out a lot of work. And I want to highlight all of them in the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency, also to the Department of Environment, who work hard, and we work hand in hand to ensure that we are making changes that are going to that is going to improve the lives of the Caymanian people. And before I go, I just want to say, there are some other things that we are busy working on in the ministry. One of them, as many residents have been reaching out asking about the climate change policy that is just about ready to be finalized, and the sexual harassment bill, which is going to be with caucus. I think it's to be listed on the agenda, so it should be any time now to be considered by caucus. So these are the things that get me excited and looking forward to trying to see them to the finish line while I am the Minister for Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. Also want to thank you, OC, for giving us time to come on the show today to share with the public what we're doing, and to all of the residents who have chosen to listen to us this morning on your commute, whether you're going to work or whether you're retired, sitting on your porch, having a cup of coffee. Thank you for listening to us this morning as we share with you what the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency has been busy working on.
And more than happy to have you on, because this morning, actually, I heard some things that I didn't know about before, hadn't heard, about the buildings, the Resimbid program. I knew about UCCI, but I didn't know about all of the other structures that had been. And I think this is what the public wants to hear. They want to hear what's going on. What are we doing? Especially the good news, part of things as well. So, I look forward to having you folks on, again, and spreading the good news, the good word. And of course, like Ms. Smith pointed out, summer's coming along.
Yes.
And we have seen what happened previously when people's electricity bills skyrocketed and the government, intervened to try to alleviate some of those pressures. But we can't continue to do that either. We have to, do our part. And when we do have those, opportunities, and I'll use one as an example. People will say, well, don't tell me what to do with my money and stuff. But, when we do allow people to dip in to their pensions, you want to really use them for fruitful purposes. And maybe one of those, would be looking to retrofit your home, upgrading your air conditioning, upgrading the insulation or whatever to help you along, because it goes a long way in the future as well. But let's continue to spread the good news out there. Let people know, what is taking place as well, and they certainly appreciate it. We see that by the questions and the comments that they have put forward, as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you all very much as well. Ms. Susan, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the phone lines, will be open as well for those of you who have something that you may want to opine on. You may want to complain as well. I don't know if I'll be able to address your complaints, but someone may be listening, who can do that as well. So please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Hey, K-Man, this is Pastor Elson Ebanks. I want to invite you to come out and join us on Saturday, May 18th, 2024 for March for Jesus. I remember those events from years past, and I'm so happy we're doing them again. So join us on Saturday, May 18th, March for Jesus, celebrating our Lord Jesus Christ.
For more information, visit Christian.ky and click on the March for Jesus tab.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget, our Custom Closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have about half an hour left in the show. Our phone lines are open. Our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. Or WhatsApp number, 925-3261. You can call that number or send us a message as well. Still have another birthday shout-out, even though we're way past it. But I sort of changed everything this morning because we had guests on from 7:30 as opposed to after the 8 o'clock news. So Mr. Aidan McLaughlin celebrating a birthday, and birthday greetings are coming from your grandparents, Trudy and Roy. And we see where Mr. David Corey will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow. So we want to wish him happy birthday in advance as well. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Hey, good morning, Doc. How are you?
Pretty good. That was a great show this morning with our young minister.
Thank you. Yes, went
And,
well.
You should have more of those.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so that the public can be aware and get information about what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but there's something I want to talk about, and I know that it wasn't within her remit. It's not in her ministry. But being a young minister, I would have loved to hear what she had to say about it anyway. Number one, why is it that the government is having the national celebration, one of the events of the national celebration at Pedro St. James for Emancipation Day by invitation?
Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Well, that's what it was in the compass.
Mm.
And I just would like you to, and as quick as you can, to get someone on there with people like myself, Miss Mary, and those people who know about the emancipation records, who know about the history of emancipation, to get us on there and to debate the subject. Because when Captain Park and Lord Sligo came here in 1835 to finally release the slaves from their bondage, he didn't send an invitation out to the slaves to come to Pedro St. James. So why is the government having a national holiday of that nature and sending invitation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good.
I never heard that in any country in my life. I mean, I would like to debate them with that.
Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
Secondly, I would have loved to ask the young minister, what is she doing to encourage her other colleagues to uphold Section 119 of the Constitution? I know that I understand that she had some sort of what is it?
Input or what?
Input in it, yes, and that she had a district council in her constituency, and I wonder if she was encouraging the other ministers and the other members of her government to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's also a national disgrace. And thirdly, I would like to ask them, what are they doing about the electrical boundary report? That Parliament has a copy, the governor has a copy, and like she said, every year at something they have to what she said 6 years or 7 years or something, they have to have this report this commission that she's leading. Well, similarly, every 8 years we have to have a constitutional boundary commission, which is mandated under the Constitution, and they have not done anything about debating it in Parliament to see whether they accept it or not. You just can't ignore the highest law in the land like that. I mean, that's a disgrace. And it seems to me that the average person in Cayman does not understand it, or does not want to understand it, or doesn't care. And they said, well, we're not going to we're not going to lead anything in that direction. So those three things, I would like to have some public debate on your radio on, whenever you get a chance.
Certainly.
To invite myself and Miss Pitcairn and people like this, Mayor Lawrence, especially about the emancipation, because what a lot of people don't know, they do not read the history of their country in their records. Not only did my people who were in bondage for over a century get emancipated, but they also tried to get educated, and that was thwarted also. And the person who came to give my people education had to leave the country and go back to the country they came from. And it's there in black and white. My family, my great grand uncles and great grand uncles were some of the petitioners on the petition in 1838 to get an education for my ancestors, people who came before me. And why should I be assisting in them having some sort of private invitation to this historical national holiday at Pedro St. James by invitation?
Yeah, Doc, I'm going to ask you to hold on there. We do have another caller, but I'm going to take a commercial break because I want to come back to you before we go to the next caller, if you can stay on the line. Miss Susan said we can continue to talk because we took an early break. Yeah, Doc, I'm actually reading this in the Compass, and it talks about the various events that are taking place, and for the benefit of our listening audience, so that if anyone doubts what you're saying, it says to mark the occasion, the Ministry of Youth, Sports Heritage has published a full list of the upcoming events, starting with 345 Day on Friday, the 3rd of May. To mark the occasion, everyone in the community is invited to wear their Caymanian Proud T-shirt, blue, white, and red clothing, or other celebratory wear. Then it goes on to say, talks about the list of events. Official Emancipation Opening Gala is planned for Saturday, the 4th of May at Pedro St. James, though it is by invitation only and not open to the general public. So my question, just like yours, I wonder who's being invited to that. Did they take a copy? Did they take a look at the list of slave owners in the Cayman Islands at the time of slavery, and have they invited the members of those slave-owning families, or have they obtained the names of some of the slaves who were there, and have they invited the descendants of those slaves? Just my question. I know I'm being a little facetious, about it as well, but it's interesting to hear who has been invited to this private function, because when you're talking about celebrating Emancipation Day, something that ended, a horrific period of time in the world, you don't use it, as a way of entertaining the rich and the famous.
It's the rich and the famous. So it means that you're not celebrating any emancipation.
No.
The rich and the famous is the ones who we work for to make them rich.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really, really ludicrous. And if it had been happening in some other country, I would have been adamant and laughable, but at the same time adamant about it. But it's happening in my own country, and I wonder who's hating this.
And now that they have heard you and me on the radio talking about it, I just hope that they don't send an invitation to me now, because I would not be accepting.
Me neither. I would not attend.
Yep.
I would not attend. I would attend with my own family and my own friends and gather it and go through the list of all the people who were in slavery, and the list of all those people who left after slavery in the great exodus to other places around the world.
Yep.
I would like to know who is hating this and who is making up this invitation. Who's hating this and who's going to be invited to celebrate the freedom of my people.
Yep. Doc, I want to thank you very much. We're going to try to work on something, for the month of May to ensure that we have a discussion, a nice panel discussion, whether not we would have some people in the studio and some people we will link up by telephone as well. Doc, thank you very much. I'm going to try to grab one more caller before we go to our commercial break. That call is on WhatsApp. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. How you doing?
Good morning. I am fine. How are you?
Good, thanks. I have to say you and Doc are hitting the nail on the head this morning in relation to the slavery issue, the emancipation issue. Just two quick things. First of all, I would never use the word celebration in relation to it. I would say observation.
Yes.
But there wasn't much to celebrate at all. Even the freedom, I'll tell you why. Amongst the Caribbean territories that had slaves, Caymanian slaves, and we did have some, were the only ones that I know of who did not get any reparations when emancipation came. They were told, or the authorities in England or wherever were told, oh, they're more like our family. We take care of them, They can continue working for us. But we were never given the 40 acres and a mule or whatever was the reparation that was normal for the time. So that alone is another double adding insult to injury, as you might say. Anyway, I'll leave you at that. But I encourage Caymanians to get educated on the issue, not just for the issue of slavery, but the struggle. I mean, there are great people. There are books like Up From Slavery that will show the struggle of mankind, not just slaves, but mankind, to overcome adversity and to excel and to help others on the way. The Underground Railroad, there's tons of examples of things. The Middle Passage alone, how, the traffic, just how the slave route, the Middle Passage was devised, especially for the benefit of sugar. They didn't really want much besides some sugar to add to their, their meals and maybe some spices. But, that was the extent of it. When they discovered they could get sugar from beets in Europe, they didn't need cane sugar. So, they didn't have to ship it across the world. When it was convenient, then that was a major part of it as well, that they could use beet sugar instead of sugar cane. So it wasn't just being, out of the goodness of their heart that they freed slavery, but it was an economic decision. So that's just a touch on the top of the issue of slavery, but there's so much more that we can learn from it and try to be better humans all around. So thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, as well. We have another caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How are you doing?
I'm good, Lord Graham. How are you?
I'm good. I heard the doctor just now and making mentions to the national disgrace and stuff. I had it in mind to call in this morning to concerning O.C. And this could be this could be a disgrace of our heritage, culture, and everything else, the way of living, the direction that I'm seeing the island are going in, O.C., because or see people are just coming here and they're developing with no regard to our past, our history. There'll be a historic building, house especially, and they just put a bulldozer there or whatever it takes and just knock it down. Just knock it down and don't try to preserve it or anything. And all that history, we'll see. How can we talk about that to the younger generation? Another 2 or 3 generations wouldn't even know what the dwelling homes in Cayman had looked like. Without there's a photo of some sort, you know. And everybody that come. I was in an international restaurant on Saturday in March, and there was somebody there from Nepal that have no idea. She think that all the cuisine in Cayman is basically what they serve and what she see on the 7 Mile Beach, because she have never been to no other local restaurant, and she been here for 6 years. 6 years, and she have no idea. And working in a restaurant where you have to serve tourists, and there's no idea of what our local food is. I try. If you notice, when I cook on Fridays, and I refuse to cook anything that are not Caymanian. Nothing outside of Cayman cuisine. And I got a daughter in Cayman Brac who have developed her own. She don't adopt. She have developed her own style of cooking and type of cooking and menu. Just like how our old people have developed our rundown, our salt beef and bean, our everything.
Caller, you still there?
Yeah. So I got 6 burners, outside burners, and I got an electric stove. But I personally brought in a carpenter, me and him, and built a caboose because I still wanted to keep that cultural part of my history. You know. So I think that too is all a national disgrace that we are allowing people to come here and introduce certain things, and we accepting it. We are accepting it all, and not trying to carry on our tradition. You can go to any Caribbean island, and still enjoy and know about what happened back when they were living in the 1800s. You know, so I don't know how we can just allow this to happen. Sooner or later, we will have no identity.
Yeah, and the bad part of it is that we go out there and we patronize those businesses as well. You know, we like the Italian food. We like it.
They pile up inside. They pile up.
Yep.
So and then it's another thing also where you make mention to certain individuals, and they say, no, I don't know how to cook that. I don't know. I say, but I know your grandmother and your mother was a great cook. Of Cayman style food, and you have no idea how to cook, not even one dish. You know, that's sad. That's really sad that we are allowing the island to go down the road where it's going.
Yep.
And nowadays we have Minister of Culture, we have Minister of Heritage. So, what are the purpose of those ministerial departments? For culture, what I mean, and I mean they give it a new meaning or what?
The mere fact that we have to fight and we have to struggle to keep our culture alive tells us how much we are being overwhelmed in this country. Lord Graham, got to take the last commercial break. Still have another caller on hold. Nice talking to you, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Digicel has teamed up with Capella. We're giving away tickets for you and a friend to attend Cayman's biggest music festival. Win 2 Capella tickets. Simply activate a 30-day Prime Max plan or be an active postpaid customer and you could be our lucky winner. Don't miss out on this epic event. Go to your nearest Digicel store today or the My Digicel app for your chance to win. Digicel. Better connected.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have 2 callers. They'll probably be the last 2 callers for the morning. I want to share this with you as well. This person has written in and said, regarding the event on Saturday, the 4th of May, the invitees that I'm aware of, all members of Parliament, their spouses, and 10 constituents. It's from 5:30 to p.m. until 11 p.m. Minister Isaac Rankin is hosting under his heritage portfolio. And the person says, I would think there are other invitees in addition to the above as well. So I want to thank that listener for sharing that information with us. Let's go to our first caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sorry, I'm getting a feedback. I don't know if it's on my end or your end, so it's kind of throwing me off.
Yeah, we're hearing it clear on this end.
Oh, okay. All right. I've been listening to your show, and I just had to put in my 10 cents worth.
Sure.
After hearing Dr. Steve's call. I have been saying for as long as I can remember that, and I am not going to apologize if what I say offends anyone. The people who have now come to Cayman and occupies Cayman and owns Cayman, they all came with a master plan. The only part of it that has surprised them is that they were expecting to get some pushback, and they didn't get that. Unfortunately, what they got was open arms, and our people assisted them in accomplishing what they came for. And the plan was and still is to eradicate us, the Caymanians. You can see that it has happened. It's not happening. It has happened. And unfortunately, our people refuse to learn and understand what our history and our heritage is. They would prefer to live in denial. They refuse to accept and acknowledge their blackness. When they do their trace of their bloodline, it goes to Ireland, to Scotland, and everywhere else, but Africa is excluded. What they do not want to hear is that back in those days, slaves had to take on the last name of their slave masters. That's why they ended up with those names that came from Ireland and so on. That's not their bloodline. Okay? That's ownership. And that continues to happen today. they cuss one nationality, they say, oh, they came to Cayman, they mashed up Cayman, they took away Cayman. I beg to differ, because that nationality have come to Cayman, and they're in a sector where most Caymanians do not work in. What they ignore is who has actually come and has taken ownership of our little islands. They pretty much own any government we elect. They call the shots. So when they say, this is what we want, that is what happens. And it doesn't matter what we, the Caymanians, say, what we say we would like, what we say we would like to keep. We are completely ignored. The only time we are acknowledged is perhaps 6 months before elections. They know your address then, and they find your phone number. But until then, shut up, go and find your corner. So my advice to anyone who plans to vote, make sure that that vote is very valuable, because the people who call the shots cannot vote. That's what you do for them. So make it worth your while when you go out to vote, and be very careful about who you're voting for. Do your homework also. There are people you can ask. Stop buying into this thing about, oh, when I get in, this is going to stop and that is going to stop. We heard that several times. Has it stopped? No. In fact, those same problems have ballooned. And then added to that, you get some more.
Yep.
And as far as this Emancipation Day, the first thing they need to do is go back and look at history. Emancipation was in August, not May. I know that there might be a little bit of controversy around it, but it is August. And everywhere else acknowledges it in August. Right. So I don't know why Cayman is following this non-education of it to do it in May. Do it in August.
Okay. Caller, we want to be able to grab one more caller before we go. I want to thank you. Thank you very much for your contribution. Let's grab our last caller. I had one article here that I wanted to share with you. Barbados and Tory member of Parliament. That means he's a member of the Conservative Party, Richard Drack, who is worth some £150 million, and the Barbadian government seeking possibly to buy the family estate in Barbados for £3 million, and people are questioning why should people of Barbados be paying him, for land that they own and use for slave purposes as well. Let's grab our last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C. and your panel.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Yes, me here.
Thank you. I'm sorry to be so late, but I've been trying to get in early and I couldn't.
That's okay.
But I'm just wondering, I don't know that much about what's planned for this celebration, but I'm just wondering what the motive in doing this, especially now even at an odd time of the year, which is not used for celebrating this. Are we trying to revive some sort of, sad memories, or are we trying to just honor those that were dropped into this situation? I'm wondering whether we really need to go into this at this time, especially. This might just open old wounds and make things worse for us, but I might be wrong, and I'm not sure. As I say, I don't know too much about what's going on about it, but I was just curious and thought I would ask. Anyway, I trust it doesn't make things any worse for anyone else, and maybe we need further reminding of what this commemorates and so on. But anyway, I'll leave it up to you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tom, and I'll certainly comment on that, as well, because there are those who would argue, and I would put myself, in that category as well, that our past has determined where we are today. And while some people may want to forget about slavery and say that, it is in the past, as a matter of fact, we had a former prime minister, British prime minister, go to Jamaica and tell them when they wanted to fund the building of a prison in Jamaica to to house deportees coming from the UK, that we need to put these things behind us. We can't put them behind us if every day we are reminded of it by the circumstances under which we live, as well as the new colonizers, the new enslavers that we have now. And those new ones that I would talk, I'm speaking about, are those, the rich and the famous, who have the money, who seek to destroy our environment, to destroy our beautiful island for the sake of a dollar as well. But we are reminded of it. Many of us are reminded of it when you say your last name, when you voice your last name, Connor. Is Connor an African name? No, it is a slave name, and I'll be the first to say so as well. It is a slave name. So we are reminded of it each day. There are those persons who criticize countries that are seeking reparations for slavery. Well, the United Kingdom government at the time gave the slave owners £20 million to compensate them for the loss of their slaves. What have they given the slaves or the descendants of slaves? Absolutely nothing. They tell you to forget about it. Some of them even refuse to apologize for the ills of slavery. They refuse to apologize for it, or when those that do apologize with a caveat. Even in the royal family, they, to a certain extent, have refused to apologize for it as well. So yes, we have to continue to talk about it, because where we are, what we do, what we experience now is as a result of what happened in the days of slavery. Some will argue and say, well, you yourself weren't enslaved. Folks, it has had a knock-on effect. And remember the saying, he who feels it knows it. So if you don't feel it, and if you didn't feel it, you know absolutely nothing about it. That means that you are not in a position to lecture me in relation to, or anyone else in relation to it. So I laud all of those countries, those jurisdictions that are still seeking reparations. We see even in the United States, in California, they have changed their attitude towards it and talking about reparations, as well. So, folks, it is not a moment to celebrate. No, we don't want to celebrate slavery, but we want to recognize what it was all about and what it has done to us. I want to thank everyone who participated this morning in relation to it. I want to thank the Minister Sabrina Turner, as well as Minister Katherine Ebanks-Wilks and their support staff for being in the studio, all of those persons who sent questions in. I want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient.
Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride.
Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.